Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2021 VRC 8-Scale Electric Buggy World Championship here at NeoX. Your top 10 drivers after qualifying on the grid getting set to go here for our A main final to crown our world champion. As we get set to go, the tone getting set to sound, and we are off and running. It's going to be Gary Crowell, your top qualifier from America, leading us out here at lap number 1. We'll see how this start works out. Everybody bunched up right there together in turns 2 and 3. Everybody taking that inside line on the split lane. Gary Crowell out to the early lead here in this one. Good, clean start for all the drivers. 1st through 10th there in this one. As they work their way through the double-double section here for lap number 1. Gary Crowell going to be out front leading the way through the downhill stair step, up and over the little tabletop, and back around to the front stretch he goes. Crowell out front, Kevin Tyler in the number 2 spot, Erwin Poulin in the number 3 spot, Harold Funk in the 4 spot, Rossetti in the 5, Hillman, DeCroy, and Nesbitt rounding out your top 8 here in this one. Right now, your top qualifier, Gary Crowell, trying to stretch out his lead just a bit. Good battle right now for 2nd and 3rd between Kevin Tyler and Erwin Poulin. As they work their way back through that double-double section there on the right-hand side of the track, you can see Crowell starting to stretch out his lead even more, 1.6 seconds in only a lap and a half's time. As they come down the front stretch here, there's your race leader. Onto the left-hand side of the track they go through this tricky section here. Gary Crowell going to be out front, Poulin in that number 2 spot, Rossetti in the 3 spot, Tyler in the 4, Harold Funk in the 5. Crowell working his way through the double-double section from our roof cam here. And now we head back here and take a look at Antoine Rossetti. Rossetti in the number 3 spot, chasing down Erwin in the number 2 spot. And that looks like Kevin Tyler now up in the number 2 spot. Here they go through the downhill stair-step section, up and over the tabletop. This is your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and on-back battle. Down the front stretch they go. Rossetti now up into the number 2 spot. Antoine Rossetti in the 2nd place spot. Goes a little bit wide there, brings it back in. The driver out of France in the number 2 spot here. Kevin Tyler in that number 3 spot, the Canadian driver. Oh, a little mistake there for Tyler. Looks like Harold going to sneak on by there. Harold from Germany. As they work their way onto the right side through the downhill stair step, up and over the short tabletop, back around to the front side now. Rossetti's fast lap last time by was a 29.5. As Rossetti works his way onto the backside there. Oh, big mistake for Antoine Rossetti right there. Has to be corner marshaled. That puts him in the back of the pack. Slow-mo. Take a look here. Comes up a bit short. Sticks that right front wheel in the pipe. And end over end he goes upside down. So now we're looking at Rossetti here as he is buried back in the back of the pack. He's trying to work his way back up here. We'll see as he crosses there. I believe that is going to be Theo right there behind him, if I'm not mistaken. Up and over the short tabletop, back around to the front stretch. So Kevin Tyler works his way up to 2nd. Now Harold in the number 3 spot, Erwin in the 4, Robert Hillman in the 5, Rossetti back in the number 6 spot, Theo in the 7 spot, and Brian Nesbitt in the number 8 spot. Here they come back around. We jump back to our leader here, Gary Crowell, with a 3.3 second lead over Kevin Tyler in the number 2 spot. 29.2 for Gary Crowell. Fast lap early on here. This one on lap number 3 as he works his way back down the front stretch. Still a lot of racing left to go. Oh, Gary getting a bit wild there. Comes off that first step down the front stretch. Air wheeling, drops it down the rear end, breaks loose, swaps side to side, but quite a save for him right there. Taking that inside line on the split lane once again. There you can see Kevin Tyler not too terribly far back from him. 3 seconds on the clock. However, one mistake or one crash, and that could be right there together. As you can see, Crowell hugging that tight inside line. Crowell not doing anything wild, not doing anything crazy, taking some safe lines here, just taking it nice and smooth. Consistency is going to be the key here in this one. 330 down on the left-hand side of the track he goes. He drops down the back section there. Coming back around, you see the battle behind him. Look at this, a 3-way battle between Tyler, Erwin, and Harold, all right there together. And it looks like it's going to be Erwin up at the number 2 spot now in that green, white, and black buggy. But Kevin Tyler trying to work his way in there in the yellow and white. 3-way. Oh, diving to the inside there. Little mistake there. Oh, big mistake there for Erwin Poulin right there. Erwin making a mistake, clipping that inside pipe, lands on his wheels, but a good save for him. Slaps the wheels the right direction, pops the throttle a bit, and now back on his wheels, and he lost some time there, but he's catching back up. Rossetti now trying to work his way back up into the scene. You see, Rossetti make another mistake there. Get on that outside. Oh, another mistake there for Poulin. We'll take a look here. Erwin coming up short on this triple, rolls it over, and that one he's unable to save. Has to be corner marshal on that one. That drops him back in the field of the number 5 spot, Antoine Rossetti. Another mistake there for Erwin. Now we jump up here. We're taking a look at Antoine Rossetti. Now, Rossetti, remember, he was up in the front running early on in this race. Down the front stretch he goes onto the left-hand side of the track. Now, can Rossetti catch back up to our race leaders here in this one? He's got Kevin Tyler and Harold Funk right there ahead of him. You can see they go over the triple. Here comes Rossetti. The last time by the line, Rossetti at 30.4, but his fast lap is a 29.3. So he's clicking off lap times that rival up there with Gary Crowell, our race leader, who's out to a 3-second lead in this one. But Rossetti, a little bit of tough luck there in the beginning of this one. Got some catching up to do. Here he comes, though, through the downhill stair step onto the right side. Down the front stretch now. He is on the heels of Kevin Tyler and Harold Funk. On to the left side. Up and over the tabletop. Drops down, double on the backside. He's going to be looking through the split lane here, trying to dive to the inside on Kevin Tyler. Not quite close enough through that angled double section there through the center of the track. From the driver's standpoint of view, that is an extremely tricky section. To be able to get through the depth perception on that is incredibly difficult. These guys making it look easy right now. There we go right there. Rossetti gets by Kevin Tyler as Rossetti heads down the front stretch in the number 3 spot now. 0.6 of a second back from Harold. Harold going to be 4.5 seconds back from our race leader, Gary Crowell. Just past the halfway mark here in this race as they work their way through the double section once again. Rossetti trying to put the moves on, trying to catch back up. Rossetti, arguably right now at this point, one of the fastest drivers on the track, and I think he has what it takes to run with our race leader, Gary Crowell. But, like I say, he's got a lot of catching up to do. Last time by the line there, a 29.2 on lap 9 for Rossetti. So that is a pretty quick lap right there. Rossetti on the backside of the track, you can see. And he's working his way up into the number 2 spot, it looks like. As Kevin Tyler's still in that 4 spot. Robert Hillman in the 5. Theo Delcroix in the number 6 spot. Brian Nesbitt in the 7 spot. And Irwin in that number 8 spot at this point with 6:30 down. Down to the downhill stair step right here. Wheel to wheel. Good battle as they come down the front stretch. That's going to be Rossetti. And Harold Funk battle for second and third. Rossetti up into the number 2 spot. Here they come onto the backside. Rossetti cuts to the inside. Comes up a bit short. Onto the split lane they go. Harold dives back ahead of him. Both drivers driving the blue and white buggies. Hard to tell them apart here. Big mistake there for Harold. Take a look here. Harold in the blue and white. Dives to the inside here. Gets a little too far to the inside. Riding the pipe. And upside down he goes. That's going to allow Rossetti to jump up into that number 2 spot and stretch it out just a little bit. Now you see Kevin Tyler in that number 3 spot. Harold dropped back to the 4 spot. So Harold's got some catching up to do here in this one. 7 minutes down. Only 3 minutes left to go. We're going to crown ourselves a world champion. Is it going to be Gary Crowell? Gary started out front on the grid here in this one, and he's looking to try and finish out front. He's 5.7 seconds ahead of Rossetti. Here's our best battle right now. Once again, Kevin Tyler in the number 3 spot. We're looking at Harold Funk here in the number 4 spot as they head onto the back right side of the track. Kevin Tyler in the yellow and white buggy. Harold in that blue and white buggy. Up and over the short tabletop, back around, down the front stretch. 7:30 down, 2:30 left to go here for these drivers. Back onto the left-hand side of the track they go. Good battle. Oh, boy. I tell you what, Harold right there pushing it hard, just about going over the back pipe there as he comes back around. We jump now to our race leader, Gary Crowell. Gary Crowell through the downhill stair step section, up and over the short tabletop, back around, down the front straight he goes, and turbo mode engaged. As you can see, Rossetti going to be in that number 2 spot. He's going to be 5.9, almost 6 seconds back from your race leader. Little less than a quarter of a track here on this one. Fast lap of this race right now, a 29.1 on lap number 10 for your race leader. And we saw Rossetti, he clicked off a 29.2, I do believe it was. So pretty close lap times between these guys. I think the major difference is Gary here in this one has just been consistent. 29.1, 29.3, 21.4, 29.4. I mean, just back to back to back to back. So Gary Crowell on the left-hand side of the track, he goes right here. The minute 30 left to go. He's looking for a world championship win here in 8-scale E-Buggy. He takes the inside on the split lane. Back through this intersection now. Sets it up very nice. Coming back around here into that off-camber section. Now we jump back here to look at Irwin. Irwin sitting in the number 6 spot. He qualified 3rd. Had a little bit of a rough beginning in this one. Back up into the number 6 spot. There we see Theo Delcroix. He works his way around, and he's got Brian Nesbitt right there behind him. Nesbitt, the Canadian driver, chasing him down. Nesbitt jumping right over the top there, taking the inside line. Puts him just ahead of Theo now. As they come back down the front stretch here, time is winding down in this one. Back around onto the left-hand side they go. Gary Crowell out front. Rossetti in second, 7 seconds back. Back through the split lane here, that battle between Theo. Now we look at Rossetti. Here comes Rossetti on the right side of the track. Down the front stretch now. Here's the driver's stand point of view for these drivers as they come down the front straight onto the left side. There's your race leader. That's the difference between them right there. Just about a quarter of a track length. 7.6 seconds separate them right now. Gary Crowell through the double section he goes. 15 seconds left on the clock. I got a feeling Gary's going to cross that line and get one more. The question is, will Rossetti get one more, or is this going to be a free victory lap for Crowell? There goes Crowell down the front straight there with 7 seconds to go. So he's going one more. Now we got to see if Rossetti's going to get one more or not. Here's Kevin Tyler in the number 3 spot. Here comes Tyler, and time has expired, and Kevin Tyler crossing the line there for a third-place finish here in our VRC World Championship. Here comes your race leader through the double section one final time onto the right side through the switchbacks, drops down the stair step over the short tabletop, and one final time down the front stretch. Your world champion, Gary Crowell, right here takes the win. Antoine Rossetti second, Kevin Tyler third. Virtual RC Racing. Don't wait for the weekend.